Thank you, Mark. Now, let's come back to the UK. And well, The Guardian is covering this. This is exclusive to them, I believe. Revealed plan to brand anyone undermining UK as extremist. Leaked documents spark furious backlash from groups who fear freedom of expression could be suppressed. So they're basically saying that anyone who undermines, in inverted commas, the country's institutions and its values are going to be considered to be extremists. Now, the question is, of course, The Guardian here has put a photograph of Palestinians on screen, but the question is are we talking about immigrants here, or are we talking about a much broader section of society? Because, of course,
or indeed us.
Indeed, because
indeed
because we've heard this over the last number of years, particularly with respect to COVID, lockdown, and so on. That basically the rise of far-right extremism is something, and of course anybody that was criticising COVID policy was viewed as being far-right in many circles. The Guardian article goes on to quote a Whitehall official saying the concern is that it is a crackdown on freedom of speech. The definition is too broad and will capture legitimate organisations and individuals. They talk about the internal departmental documents marked as official, sensitive, talking about framing a new unified response to extremism. And Michael Gove is the key person whose name is attached to this. Sorry, let's come back to us. Thank you. So the question is, who is going to be labelled an extremist? Clearly, The Guardian is framing it in a particular way, but actually, I believe it's going to be a much broader...
It's going to be anybody that dares challenge any government policy.
Yes.
It's going to be looking to capture. Well, your audience had a sneak preview there, but thanks to Debbie for spotting the Observer front page here. So the Observer revealed plan to brand anyone undermining UK as extremist. So this is part of the key bit. And of course, that's put alongside Gaza siege conditions. So don't worry, it's just a siege in Gaza. Nobody getting hurt at all. But what have I said in the text there? This is a UK dictatorship. It's accelerating. It's coming into place very, very quickly now. And people need to be fully aware of what's happening and speak out against it while they can. But of course, if we deal with people causing the trouble, this is from the Mail, Boris Johnson visiting the kibbutz where Hamas massacred Israeli civilians. As he warns, we face a huge terrorist threat. But he's on a solidarity visit to Israel following the October the 7th attacks. I'm just going to label this. Let us remember that Boris Johnson, widely known across international press as the man who helped almost single-handedly destroy peace in Ukraine, he's now in Israel to support Israel. I think things are going to get very, very bad because they never get good when Boris Johnson is around. So let's have a look at this little clip of Boris in action.
It's a legitimate subject for consideration, but right now we're facing the imperative to deal with a huge terrorist threat, and the Israelis need to be able to get on with that. Great.
So it's a real good coincidence.
How long have you been serving here?
A day in Samaria.
Right. We are from the same unit, two of us.
From the same unit.
Right.
And I'm in the same unit.
Volunteered straight away to come out and serve here.
So some of us have been living here for years now.
Strongly, I disagree with those who try to make some kind of moral equivalence between what you are doing and what the terrorists do. I'm here to show my support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Boris Johnson, former Prime Minister of Australia. We are honoured to host you at the Lone Soldier Centre in memory of my enemy.
Well, as I look at that video clip, into my head comes just look at the state of that man. I compare that scruffy individual, Boris Johnson, to the extremely smart Royal Navy officers and ratings that we saw at the weekend. But of course, Boris Johnson up to no good. almost kiss of death for the Israelis, and the impact is going to be back on civilians in Gaza. So truly horrific to see this. But of course, we shouldn't be surprised, because these declarations of undying support for Israel from the Conservative Party over a great many years, clearly Israel comes before people in UK, which I think is a really, really sad thing for a British politician to really say.